They called him Little Wheels, not as a compliment, but as a joke. Every morning, 12-year-old Micah rolled past the biker gang that hung around the abandoned gas station. And every morning they mocked him. They howled like wolves, blocked the sidewalk with their motorcycles, and hurled empty bottles near his wheelchair. All because he couldn't walk. All because he dared to smile anyway. He never fought back, never told his mom, never cried. But one night, while the world slept, Micah wrote a message, not asking for revenge, but for hope. He sent it to two men he looked up to more than anyone, John Cena and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It was just a fan letter, a small whisper into the noise. He never expected a reply. But 5 days later, something happened that stunned the entire town. Engines louder than any Harley thundered into the street. Cameras clicked. People froze. And the bikers who once laughed were suddenly silent, because stepping out of those SUVs were him, and him, John Cena, The Rock, for Micah. And what they said, what they did, turned a bullied boy into a living legend. This isn't just a story about revenge. It's about courage, about standing up without standing at all. It's about two icons reminding the world what real strength looks like. So if you've ever been laughed at, looked down on, or underestimated, stay with me. Because the way those bikers reacted when John Cena and The Rock drove up, let's just say the world hasn't stopped talking about it since. They called him Little Wheels. At first it sounded cute, but it wasn't. It was how the older boys at school laughed at Micah when he rolled by in his wheelchair. Even worse were the bikers from across the street, the self-proclaimed Iron Fangs who hung out at the abandoned gas station. Every time Micah passed by to get to school, they'd rev their engines, throw fake punches in the air, or bark like dogs. He never said a word. He just smiled and kept going. His mother had told him, "When people try to break you down, don't give them the satisfaction of watching you fall." Micah was 12, born with a rare condition that paralyzed him from the waist down. But what he lacked in strength, he made up for with spirit. He read superhero comics every day and dreamed of being strong, not to fight people, but to protect the weak. One Saturday morning, Micah rolled down the sidewalk toward the local library. His backpack was filled with books, and he was humming the WWE entrance music of John Cena under his breath. Wrestling was his escape, his joy. The Iron Fangs were out again. Leather jackets, beer cans, and mean grins. They saw him. One of them, a guy with a red mohawk named T-Rex, grunted loud enough for everyone to hear. "Hey, hey! Look who's back on the runway! It's Captain Cripple!" Laughter erupted. Micah kept rolling. Another biker tossed an empty soda bottle near his wheels. He dodged it like a reflex. They laughed again. "Nice dodge, kid. Got some moves in that chair?" Micah looked up at them, his face calm. "I'm just trying to get to the library." T-Rex leaned down. "You don't need books, kid. You need a miracle." More laughter. One guy howled like a wolf. "Call John Cena. Maybe he'll carry you there." Micah swallowed the lump in his throat and rolled past them. His knuckles were white, but he didn't cry. When he got home, his mother was already frying plantains. "Library good?" she asked gently. Micah just nodded. He didn't tell her. He never did. She had too many burdens already. Working 2 jobs, fixing their old van, managing his therapies. She was his hero. But later that night, as she dozed on the couch, Micah went online and typed a message. It was simple. "Dear John Cena and The Rock, I'm Micah. I use a wheelchair. There are some bikers who always laugh at me when I pass by. I know you're both really busy, but I just wanted to say thank you for being strong. You make me feel strong too. From your little fan, Micah." He clicked send and didn't think much of it. Just writing it made him feel better. Days passed. The bikers didn't stop. If anything, they got meaner. One afternoon, they blocked the entire sidewalk with their bikes, forcing Micah to wait in the sun. "What's the matter, Turbo Wheels? Can't fly over us?" one of them barked. Micah stared straight ahead. "Please move." "Nah, not today. Let's play a game. Push the chair backward with your hands only. Make it a race." He didn't respond. That night, he stayed quiet again. His mother offered to drive him to school the next day, but he said no. He didn't want to hide. The next morning was cloudy. He headed out at the usual time, bracing for them. But something was different. As he approached the gas station, there was a crowd, a real crowd. Two massive black SUVs were parked near the curb, and people were screaming and taking photos. The bikers were standing, silent, stiff, eyes wide. Micah's heart skipped, because stepping out of one of those SUVs was John Cena, and from the second SUV, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. No security, no pomp, just presence. They were both wearing dark shades, fitted black shirts, and smiles. John walked up first. "You Micah?" Micah blinked. "Yes." "Got your message." Micah froze. His voice caught. You actually read it?" The Rock bent down. "Not only did we read it, brother, we cleared our schedule." Micah's lips parted in disbelief. The crowd around them was now filming, cheering, shocked. John Cena turned to the Iron Fangs. "You the ones that think it's funny to pick on a kid in a wheelchair?" No answer. T-Rex shifted his stance. "It was just jokes, man." The Rock stepped forward, towering. "You know what's not a joke? Courage. That boy's got more of it than all of you combined." One of the bikers stepped back. Another one mumbled, "We didn't mean it like that." John Cena crossed his arms. "Then maybe it's time to mean something different. Because kindness, that's a lot harder than revving a bike." Micah felt a hand on his shoulder. It was The Rock. "You're gonna ride with us today. That cool?" Micah nodded slowly. "Yes, sir." John turned to his crew. "Bring the chairlift." From the SUV came a foldable ramp. Within minutes, Micah's chair was inside. They didn't carry him. They honored him. The ride to school was short, but unforgettable. They played his favorite entrance music in the car, asked him what subjects he liked, what superhero he wanted to be. Micah, who had always spoken in quiet tones, laughed louder than he ever had before. When they pulled up to the school gates, hundreds of students gathered. John Cena stepped out and announced, "This is Micah. And from today forward, this school, this town, better recognize something." He looked toward The Rock, who continued, "That being strong means lifting others. And Micah, you're the strongest guy we've met all week." The crowd erupted. That afternoon, the local news ran the story. By nightfall, it was on national TV. The next day, the Iron Fangs disbanded. Their garage went quiet. Micah kept going to school, rolling with new pride. But the bullies were gone. More importantly, he had something else: confidence. He got letters from other kids across the country, kids in chairs, kids with fears, who now felt stronger too. And one evening, while watching TV with his mom, he whispered, "They didn't just show up for me. They showed up for everyone like me." His mom kissed his forehead. "That's what real heroes do." And somewhere out there, two men in black shirts smiled too. Knowing they hadn't just driven up that day, they had driven change into the world.